It's flat. It's not on. Okay, we're live.
Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Got some news for you, so all right. Let's get started on the news. Go ahead, Miss BB.
I am April BB.
And I am Mr. Brando. And welcome to the status of the Iraqi Dinar IQD chat and news. So, PM revealed the completion of the government in the next few days. I already told you guys they're not going to complete the government as long as the Iranian president was in town. He met with Sistani today, hence the thumbnail. Half of it's going to be parliament schedule for tomorrow. A lot of people don't know that. It came out. I have it in Arabic. Everybody else has it in English. I got it in English shortly thereafter, but I'll go ahead and post it in Arabic first so you guys can see it was an official parliament document. The reason for that is authenticity is everything. With that, I also posted a picture of Sistani sitting next to some of the major political factions in Iraq, and one of them being Sistani, the high Ayatollah of Iraq. Probably one of the, if not the highest, the most high. Everybody thinks Sadr is super important, but Sistani is the one that honestly pulls all the strings. Sistani is the grand Ayatollah, and he holds the rank. He's earned the respect. A lot of people don't know about him, but he's a bad mother trucker. He really is a lot of people have, I'm on the fence about him. I don't know if he's good or bad. He talks a great game, especially in the interview I'm going to read later on about Iraq and about their position. He talks almost in a code. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you this, but just believe on some real, like, don't play with me type stuff. This is what I'm telling you, and I'll read that to you in a few seconds. Political source revealed Tuesday the date of completion of the ministerial cabinets. That was on Tuesday. They said 2 days later. They said Thursday. Now, if it doesn't happen on the 21st, it won't happen through the end of the 25th. You heard it here first. They're going on a holiday, so don't expect that to happen. I'm not expecting really a lot to happen in the month of March besides the completion of the cabinet. I really do believe the completion of the cabinet end of March through April, but as far as you seeing a reevaluation between that time, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think you'll know that till the first week of April or what's going to happen. That's just my honest opinion. I'm going to tell you the truth. Fatah Mohammed Karim on Sunday that the most of the political blocs will meet tomorrow to resolve the file to complete the ministerial cabinet. They're talking more here about completing the cabinet, about which positions are open. We already know what those are, so I'm going to skip it. The governor of the central bank Ali Alak, that Iraq has the fundamentals and ways of success of the economic environment, stressing the availability of funds market. This was something you've heard a lot of places. I take it as being news, but I don't put a lot of stock in it because, first of all, Alak basically call his fellow government workers crooks, and Alak is already not well liked. I think he'd be signing a death sentence if he did it, or at least political suicide without an out, because his name's been taken off of, as far as I can see, Minister of the Internet. So he's not going to be over that. So from the economic vision, there is no problem the availability of opportunity for all sectors in Iraq to work in investment, noting the money exists but hesitant and afraid to enter the work environment and investment. I think the reason why he's hesitant is because of all the corrupt ministers that are honestly out there, and that if he actually did put them online where they were transparent and open to the open jurisdiction of the international community, that they would go to jail. And I think this is a failure of all the people that I see, like in these circumstances where they say, well, Iraq's problem is America, the American coalition forces. No, Iraq's problem right now is the same problem that we suffer from right here in the States. It's called entitlements, because they're not used to taking any responsibility for anything. Because if you were in a place that you didn't have basic human services, food, purchasing power, a job, a bank account, things like that, the rest of the world has, I think you'd be up in arms about it just because of your basic human behavior, like your own inherent rights. You see what I'm saying? They're not asking for to have stock in Amazon or something like that. I'm talking about food every day. And that's where I fault a lot of people, because they fight for stupid things like blame, but they don't fight for things to make them right. Does that make sense? So I blame the Iraqi people on that, not the politicians. The politicians are conditioned to steal. So if I put forth that carrot every day, you're going to take that carrot. But until the people stand up in arms and say, we're not peasants, we're not this, we're not that, we're actually people, we have rights, we have civil rights, then honestly, a change is coming, but it may not be the change. It could be economically, but it may not be the change of basic human race until those things happen. Does that make sense? I think a lot of people are missing the fact that entitlements kill everything.
Yeah.
Al-Samari, we should not reward public money by exempting them from half of the money they stole. You're going to see a lot of news articles coming up about stolen money. Now, the thing about those articles that you have to really remember is, how do you retrieve those monies, and what legislation do you have in actual law that says you can't go after those people? Because remember, they've already said that those corruption laws and everything, they have a lot of bark but very little bite. They don't have anybody to really execute those. So I think right now, as you hear these things, as you hear Mahdi talk more and more about having more political pressure about the corrupt Sauder, maybe doing it from a hospital bed because he's out of whack because of his cancer, I think you're going to see more and more people put pressure on him to actually make good on the corruption file. Because if you make good on the corruption file, you can have a revaluation with no problem. I think because then at that point, if you just arrest key components, not even if you rounded up everybody, just key components, right? Just the core 6 or 7, right? Then the rest of that snake would fall. To determine who is the informant and what is the mechanism of news according to clear legal framework. So they're asking again, what is the clear after these people, and how do we go after them and keep after them until they're all gone? The Central Bank of Iraq, CB, announced today that it has joined the IFC Sustainability Network. Now, the IFC, I believe, is a subsidiary of the World Bank. It helps out to keep abreast of international developments in this area. Central Bank of Iraq announced that it has joined the IFC's Sustainability Network, which includes several countries developing in order to implement the principles of sustainability mentioned in corporate governance guide and principle. These principles are business activities, banking and environment, risk management, integrating environment and social considerations into the decision-making process of institutions' activities to avoid, minimize, or compensate negative impact and business processes. The other principles were human rights, respect for the human right and operations, business activities and institutions, economic empowerment of women. That's very interesting because it was just Women's Day. Promotion of women economic empowerment through the workplace culture of both sexes and business processes of an institution, and financial inclusion, seeking to provide financial service to individuals, communities that are traditional and have limited or no access to the formal financial sector. Which kind of goes with the other day when people were talking about a lot, saying that a lot of people did not have bank accounts. 80% might have been a little bit high. But with that, I think that you have to understand everything in Iraq is exaggerated. Ministries of Planning, Al-Dinami, announced the establishment of 2 international trust funds to manage the international support file for projects and programs of recovery, reconstruction, and development in country. The Iraqi Recovery and Reconstruction Fund is working to improve effectiveness of funding for reconstruction and recovery efforts by government and international partners. So you have some play here with the World Bank. They're the one who put the Minister of Planning in touch with the money, helped guiding them. This letter came from a memorandum of the World Bank and its frameworks of the Bank of Iraq. Now, Rouhani processes the possibility of Iraq and Iran to rely on the national currency between the two countries. Yeah, because what people don't understand about the whole Iraq-Iran dynamic is the more Iran entrenches themselves in the Iraqi banking system, and the more they're forced to use the dinar or the euro, the more demand for the dinar goes up. And with that demand comes a cost. See, Iran is not taking over the banking system. They're trying to circumvent U.S. sanctions. There's a difference. They can't take over the banking system because their banks are under sanction. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no way you have a viable partner if both of you are under sanction. It's kind of like two people are in love, right?
Mhm.
But both y'all are broke. But both of y'all are hungry and you have aspiration. But tonight, right now, you're broke. Okay? If we're both under sanctions, neither one of us can take our money and go buy wheat, go buy soy, go buy milk, go buy honey, go buy anything.
Mhm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But if I'm the dominant one in the relationship and I'm trying to force my hand, then I can sit here and try to sweet talk you and tell you I'm going to increase my trade with you. I'm going to be the husband I've always, or the brother or partner or whatever I've always should have been. Iraq should wake up and say, you know what? I've heard this song and dance. And that's where I don't fault Saddam on the invasion. Now, the methodology I fault him on. You see what I'm saying? But his whole thing of Iraq is Iraq and is sovereign is the same prevalence that every American that I saw during its last election echoed through America. They were tired of the status quo and they wanted something different.
Mhm.
So my whole thing with this Mahdi government is they say they want no corruption, no corruption, no corruption, but he's done nothing to act on that corruption or to get rid of the negative Iranian influence today, right?
Right.
Now, I think a major thing with him saying about this corruption is because he's going to go after those Iranian people that have in touch with those militias, okay?
Mhm.
Okay, that's the whole point about the whole corruption file. He's going to attack those people, but until he does, he's a little dog with a big bark. He's worse than a body because at least a body knew his place and only talked about ISIS. He had nothing to do with ISIS, but he talks about it religiously like he had a big, major hand in fighting those fights. The American coalitions did, and so did the U.S. coalitions. So the funny thing about it is that these people, they know not what they talk of, but they talk a lot. Rouhani proposes the possibility of Iran, Iraq. I told you guys my definition of that. That's the only way it works. Trust me, Iran, who's under sanctions, can't run Iraqi banks. They be therefore default under sanction and under terrorist watch list that they worked so hard to get off of and everything else. But an increased demand for dinar in the region helps dinarians everywhere, right? It's called supply and demand. They're not making new money. All they're doing is going to come out with new money when the new denominations come out. They're not making no more currency. I told you guys about the completion of the cabinet, Saudi Alliance comments, seriousness. I told you about corruption. Investment law caused the disruption of the investment in Iraq. The investment law for a lot of the things that all of us want to see, everything from the dinar to the clubs to everything, is the thing in my opinion. And shout out to whoever gave this to me on Twitter. This is the holy grail of the holy grail. I told y'all that there need to be a few laws that pass. I told you I'd like to see a placeholder seated government because I believe it's more symbolism than anything. I want to see them accept Article 8. I wanted to see them touch that donor conference money. Those are things that are I want to see those lower denoms. I want to see proof on the cue cards of the 135. I'm going to get that for it. But until you see those things, I'm not trying to tell you that the dinar is like to hang up on it. But I'm saying pay attention to the news, the learning indicators. If you're interested in growth and learning how to be a steward of the investment, understand the history of it and the history you're living with it.
Yeah.
Now, the parliamentary economy. Now, this was this year. This was this last month, said a member of the Committee of Economy and Investment Parliamentary, Ali Sadoun, on Tuesday, that the investment law and its paragraphs have disrupted the wheel of investment in the country. He said in an interview with him today, there are many problems that contribute to the disrupt the investment process in country, including the application of the investment law that some of its paragraphs subject to the wills and the interpretation of some quarters. The allocations and corruption of two major problems affecting the investment and investors in country and deviated from the goal of the investment law, when legislated. Now, this is bold letters. The member of the Committee of Economy and Investment Parliamentary, the need to bridge the gap between stakeholders and owners of capital and companies in order to attract investors and provide an environment suitable and safe for them. That is, oh my God, I felt like I just sang a hymn. I'm going to read that one more time. I know you guys missed this. I know this sounds crazy. The member of the Committee on Economy and Investment Parliamentary, the need to bridge the gap between the stakeholders, that's securities and exchanges, the owners of capital, that's you and I, and club members, and companies such as GE, Coca-Cola, Burger King, all these other companies that I've named that have gone to Iraq recently, before this law is clear, says, in order to attract investors and provide an environment suitable and safe for them. So they are foreshadowing. They're telling you, listen, we know there's a lot of murky water. It's not opaque at this point. We're going to go ahead and clear this law up. And that's why I told everybody I was on Twitter. And if you're not on my Twitter, Mr. Brando, YouTube, where's the investment law? I need to see this investment law. It's been on the back burner. Where's the investment law? These are key indicators of what's going on. Not if Iran is using the dinar or the euro. I'm not trying to say anything disrespectful to anybody's perspective, but I'm looking at it from a pure business standpoint. First of all, if I was in business and I was corrupt, like let's say a bad doer or maybe a bad guy, and my dealings were subhuman, right? Like the black market, right? And I had a friend that was in business, such as you, right? And I'm the one I can't be touched. I'm the one that can be touched. I'm under a watchful eye. Anything I do is going to be scrutinized, not just by my own government, by another government, the IMF, the World Bank, the World Coalitions. Everybody's watching me. Do you think I'm going to be able to corrupt you as easily because I'm going to increase our trade deficit? There's nothing wrong with trade. Trade is everything. Why else do you think there's a Silk Road? Why else do you think we have intercommerce from sea to signing sheet? Why else do you think that everybody in the world, the one thing they try to make money on is logistics? Trade is not a bad thing. The tariffs are a good thing. They're going to get tax going in and out of the country. They got a deal on dinar, another increase. The dinar is going to be, or it is in Iranian banks. In Jordan, those are border states. Think about it. Think about it. If the dinar is in a demand, not just in Iraq, but in Iran and in Jordan, what happens to the dinar you hold? I can't tell you any other way. If this doesn't get you ultimately excited about this investment, I don't know the things to tell you. Besides, I got 35 to 100, or I got this guy on videotape. I'm going to give you those things as I get them. But if these little things I don't teach you along the way, then you are not a steward of your investment. Now, if you're one of those people that just look out for the rants, you're going to look for a Thursday rant and say, we've been to the bank, we've exchanged. Now, all you people that are fair weather investment folks, now you guys go. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The people that are stewards of their wealth will go ahead of time. And I'm not trying to say nothing weird. I'm just trying to tell you that will be the truth. Now, I have an article here from the White House. The White House, they asked a few years ago, online interactive forum where you can submit to read discussions. The discussion today is, Hugh Tan says it's terrific to be with you today. Thank you for the opportunity to address your questions this evening. I am talking to you from the ICE, that's the Iraq Currency Exchange Project Room in the old Saddam Palace. We like to call it Icebox. Around these walls are various colors, pictures, old currency, and new currency. In addition to the currency posters around the room, there are various maps and charts that help us map the delivery of the Iraqi currency throughout the country. Now, this guy asked one question about the exchange. They asked about how long did it take you to decide on the new currency. They ask this question. This will answer it for a lot of you people. Casey says, will the old Iraqi currency still be accepted or will it be worthless? Tant says, thank you for your question. The conversion period is from a certain year to a certain year. Iraq will work in the two old currencies that exist with the new currency. I'm not going to read any further. Iraq will work with the two currencies that exist with the new currency. Okay? about my whole thing about the whole certificates of authenticity. They asked about who designed it, where was it printed. The central bank decided on what the new currency would look like. De La Rue machines based in England that were chosen to print the new dinar and validate it. So again, you don't have to have that certificate, but if I think if you have it, it's my thing. Call it my quirk. I'm going to ride with that. Okay, this I think is a key question. Will the Iraqi people eventually take over control of their money supply? Also, what is the collateral for their currency? The Iraqi people already have control of their money supply. Their collateral, like in the US, is based on foreign exchange, precious metal like gold, and treasury bills. And I think they left off an important point, oil. I don't care if you have it, you don't have it. I heard today on a rumor that Iraq may have more oil than Venezuela. Venezuela has one of the largest oil reserves in the world. How is Iraqi money banked? Do they have a gold standard? Is the dinar worth anything now? Are most transactions still in American dollars? The Iraqi money is backed by foreign exchange, treasury notes, and precious metals such as gold. Iraq does not have or maintain the gold standard. During the conversion period, the old dinar still has value. Okay, I've read enough about that. The Iraqi Prime Minister Mahdi announced on Tuesday a project to distribute land to the poor, trying to get those disenfranchised people back home. Now, this is what I put about this. Implementation of the tariffs. The General Authority of Customs on Tuesday replied, some inaccuracies have raised the media during the past 2 days. They said that the authority said in a statement to AFAC News is the only part responsible for the implementation of customs procedures. Now, people don't think customs and tariffs are a big deal. Wait till they are enacted. When the people start hollering about they can't pay to come in and out of country, those that do work or own business, that's where you're going to see a rock in the financial system, not some weirdo alien crap. You see what I'm saying? When the people start bitching about they don't have money to get back and forth to sell their goods, that both to and from Iraq, Jordan, Israel, whomever is importing and exporting goods when those tariffs take effect, why else do you think China, the trade agreement with China is such a good teacher for trade? China sells us way more than we sell to them.
Right.
That's called a bad thing. We want to even the playing goods. And because they price their goods so much cheaper, it gives an American an unfair advantage of having a strong dollar to buy those cheap things, right? Now, since we're not buying American things because they cost more money because the cost of manufacturing is higher, where else do you think you spend your money?
Like what countries?
Yeah.
Vietnam.
China, Iraq, right? There's a lot of cheap goods from Iraq. It's cheap. Their currency's worth zero. Iran, Venezuela, clothing, apparel, stuff like that. Anything that has a petrochemical byproduct is a cheap product under which type of circumstance? A subservient market. A market so devalued or so hurt by inflation that the cost of doing goods is nothing. That's why plants are there. That's why people buy commerce from there. That's why people buy apparel from there. Because you can buy 10,000 underarm shirts from Vietnam for maybe half a cent a piece. Because you pay your workers 100 of a cent of that a piece.
Right. A lot of the clothes we wear.
Right. And that's why when people say, what, buy America, be American, do American, a lot of people don't believe in that because they don't live that. Because you can't. It's really unaffordable. Now, if 90% of the people that we talk to did that, this country would not only have a surplus, there would never be such a thing as a deficit. Even for war, even for space, even for technology, anything, if you just bought American and sold American. That's why I've always said to you, you don't need new taxes. You need more taxpayers.
If you bought strictly American, though, you miss out on a lot of great things.
Like what?
Well, I mean, if we only bought like GMC, for example, or Cadillac, right? We would miss out on other opportunities, right?
Right.
Why wouldn't you say a Tesla?
Okay, but why is not to say that GMC doesn't come up with a better Tesla product than Tesla? Why is it because the American apparel goods, white goods, cars become subservient to the economy of the world that we put out a subpar a subpar product because we don't do better because we don't have to do better. We're not in a competitive market. Tesla's not just in the market in the country they come from. They're in a worldwide market to being the smartest car out there, correct? BMW is the what? Ultimate driving machine. Not just in Bavaria, where it comes from, but the ultimate driving machine. Lamborghini's not just popular in Italy, but more popular in America. Why? Because it's a popular product. America doesn't produce popular products anymore. Our industry is crap. That's why our trade deficit's way upside down. It doesn't take a genius to run a country. You know what it takes? A little bit of diligence and a little bit of effort. That's it. That's why I fault the Iraqis. Yeah, I get it that you want to buy 20 billion from Iran, but what are you going to sell them? Because if not, you're going to be in the same trade deficit that America is. That will do what? Put a strain on your currency because you're only dealing in dinar. It all works hand in hand. So what I'm looking for is articles that say Iraq's now going to boost their trade to Iran X. They're going to ship $25 billion or $1 trillion to Iran X, to Turkey, to Israel, to da-da-da. Not just get goods in, but get goods out. Because just because their currency is cheap, it's easy to import. But when their money's on par with everybody else's, it gets expensive to ship your goods. It all works together. Am I preaching too much, y'all? I'm preaching too much. First American reaction came rejecting Iranian intervention in Iraq. They said that Iran does not want good for Iraq and will not provide the Iraqis with what pleases them because it did not provide anything that meets the aspirations of Iranians themselves. Meaning that Iran is self-serving. I get it. We're going to use them as a pawn to increase the value of our currency, allow them some a little bit regional banking and possibly some trade. But honestly, you got to get your act together for the summertime because the electricity is going to be needed. And that's another reason why I think they're trading so heavily with them. Yeah, I totally met with Sistani. He met with the president, Hassan Rouhani, and accompanied delegations, including Iran foreign minister. The Iranian president explained to the Supreme Reference part of results of his talks and Iraq officials and what has been reached with them in the framework of developing a friendly. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Sistani expressed his, welcome to the step to strengthen Iraqi relations with its neighbors according to the interests of both parties and on the basis of respect for the sovereignty of states. Meaning that you're a state and I'm a state. Respect my sovereignty, okay? And non-interference in our internal affairs. That says it all, how Stani greeted. Now, if that was Donald Trump, you'd have basically told him he gave him a big middle finger and he told him basically stay out of my business. Now, welcome, okay? That's the news. That's what I got. Now I'm going to call Henry. So before anybody else calls me, let me call him. We're going to get him on live on the line at 5 because
John Riley says our industry is crap because we gave it all away.
Well, that's right. But now that they gave it all away, what are you doing to get it back? The whole question is, how do you get industry back in America? $1 million question. There's not enough taxes or tariffs because of how cheap labor is across the country. That's where your currency war is.
You have reached competent service. Please leave your name.
Well, Henry didn't answer, so the phone lines are open. We're 1 minute early. Let me get to the chat. Are there any questions before I get started? Comments, anything of flair, anything of action? You want to talk industry? You want to talk trade? What do you want to talk about? It all pertains to your dinar because it's all intertangled. The minute you take your eye off of trade, the minute that you take your eye off the fact that Iraq's already talking about buying a satellite from France and trying to have a contest to see who's going to help to run it, that's where we fall into a problem, okay? Because all that does what? Costs money. And the physical dinar in the world can't pay for all of it without it holding some value. The cabinet's been done. I believe the cabinet's a placeholder. Whether it's done or not doesn't make me right or wrong. I'm saying that you only hear about that placeholder when they're ready to announce what they're going to do next. Yeah, millionaires to the drop. Kenneth, you're right about that. We believe the dinar is the base currency and it should go first. I agree the same thing. Ola Archbishop, Ola Dottie, Ola Babe, Ola Kenneth. Hello, Josh, Babe. I've heard VND is the same basket of currencies as the IQD. Defiant Patriot. I'm going to go ahead and challenge you to say that I believe the basket of currency that everybody's referring to is the basket that the Silk Road would hold. That's where they're going to put Vietnam, Philippines, South Korea, North Korea in a basket with not only Iraq, Iran, everybody in Europe that's going to have special holding rights, that's where the derivative would come from and a value would come from because it makes sense intercommercially. It doesn't make sense in an international basket because not enough people would actually trade in dollars, especially because the world's currency is petrodollars. Now, if the world is going to de-dollarize the world, then another standard would have to take its place. What would that standard be? And you can't tell me gold. There's not enough physical gold in the world to A, buy all the oil in the world, and B, substantiate every person in the world. So it can't be gold.
So what are you thinking, dinar?
No, I'm thinking that it's the dollar. The dollar is going to fail one day, just not in a time frame that maybe you or I see it, or at the end of when you and I would see it, via in our 80s or 90s. Does that make sense? What people are calling a global currency reset, there's no such thing. Now, could currencies abandon their fiat ways and adapt a standard based upon a book of assets that they all adhere to? That could happen.
Cryptos.
Think blockchain.
Yeah.
Think precious metal. Think fossil fuels because they're running out. Think solar. Think wind. Number one thing I think you should think is water. Water. There's not enough water in the world. Not drinking water. Usable water.
Wait. Not drinking water, usable water. What do you mean for just...
The world is basically an ocean full of salt water. You can't drink it. You can't use it really. You have to refine it. It's like oil. You got to refine oil to make it usable. Water is the same thing. That's why there's water treatment plants. You see what I'm saying? There's people to change water into inhabitable water. As the populace increases, the water supply decreases. Water adds to the oxygen content that all of which we breathe that produces the plants and the trees. Get it? Water is the next big currency. That's my opinion. Don't quote me on that.
I can see that for states like California.
California, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. Think about it. Colorado, Wyoming.
But like in California, like at least in Texas, we get rains. They don't really get them as much.
But I'm saying that they also have no major waterways running through their states. You see, that's why I named all those other countries. Think about it. As water as a currency goes, if you could collect rainwater in California in these big, huge vats, or collect rainwater in Arizona or New Mexico or those places, and process it, or in the rainier states, process it and had a viable pipeline or shipping line, water becomes very, very valuable to a place that doesn't get a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's valuable in California. Because they can't even water their grass every day.
Golden Spala said that is why there's a reset coming. The dollar back on a gold standard instead, there's just not enough gold. Listen, for all the US dollar that's in all the world is probably unknowable. We don't possess enough gold in our reserves or in all the mining probably in Zimbabwe to substantiate a dollar being the dollar globally, let alone all the dollars out there, meaning every currency available to substantiate it globally on the par with the dollar. There's just not enough physical gold. You got to come up with another basket. I'm sorry, people are going to hate me for that, but that's the truth.
The basket? What do you mean exactly? Like
another basket of currencies? I believe that there's going to be an SDR basket that's going to be accepted globally, the dollar being number one. And then eventually you're going to see sub-baskets, meaning that like the Silk Road is going to be a basket. There's going to be a global basket. There's going to be a European basket. Okay. And that's going to protect them from stuff like Brexit and stuff like that. And they're going to get not just the Europeans involved, but the Middle Easterns and the Asians involved. The Asians for their efficiency, the Middle Easterns for their banking supremacy, and the Middle East for their fossil fuel. Yeah, asset backed, not 100%. No currency can be 100% asset backed. That's impossible. Somebody threw money in a park. You should have seen how many people was running for it, and that was small cash. Yeah, because you know what? A dollar is still a dollar to you and I, regardless how you feel about a dollar. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a bill to pay $50 and you see like 80 cents on the ground, you may not pick it up. You know what I'm saying? But if you see a 20 on the ground and you owe $80, you're gonna pick it up. What happened with Zim, South Africa, with helping Zimbabwe? Miss Turner, the Zimbabwe Zim is in a world of hurt because of their own governance and selling off half their fossil fuel, not their fossil fuels, but their precious metals and mining rights to China, and the other half being a loan to Russia. The Zim is dead right now. They're under sanctions. They're going to be under sanctions. It needs true military intervention, and it needs to go to the same type of program that Iraq did, just more efficiently.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sammy D says, hey, Mr. Brando, did you see the change on Google?
Yeah, I did. But this is what I kind of combat that with. I've seen so many changes on Google for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That now I want to see a change on the CBI and the Forex. Now, are there glitches? Are there testing? Maybe. But how many tests do you got to go through? Especially the Basel III banking system, which is superior to any banking system in the world, before you can actually get it right.
It seems like, yeah, they've been going back and forth with that for a minute.
I mean, for real.
When I first got involved in 2017, it was like 11. It was 11.8 something.
11.88,
right?
I think.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it switched one day,
like tens.
Yeah,
and then it jumped up to almost 12.
Yeah.
You remember, currencies are all traded on their values. The dinar is no different. Now, why are these large institutions buying them? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know these people aren't going to look for a return on their investment in 10 years. 5 years, a year, maybe. What that is, I don't know. But to say there's a glitch in the system, you got to remember first, the glitch just has to be sustainable. Mm-hmm. Not all of us can get to the bank before it's sustainable. Investor IQD's in the house. What's up, my man? Waiting for that email from you also.
Wait, Linda, I didn't. I'll be honest, I didn't look and see the change, but Linda says, hey, Mr. Brando, why 00015 showing on the site? Is that what it shows?
Because it's fractional banking. They're starting their fractional. That's Basel III. Oh. It's a part of fractional banking. And I'm not the first one to come up with fractional banking. Y'all, Henry. Hey, Henry.
Hey, Mr. Brando, how are you?
Hey, brother, how you doing, man?
Good. So, sorry about that. I'm a little stuck with my family.
Oh.
Yeah, because my father is here. I'm trying to take care of him today later.
Yeah, well, hey, bro, let me let you go then. Take care of your family. Do you have any news or anything?
No, I mean, not now, but I keep searching, not yet, because of today I text you earlier. I mean, I told you, not yet, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
I didn't get any news, not yet, but as soon as I get, yeah, of course.
Okay, bro, well, I'll let you go. Go take care of your dad, okay?
Okay, thank you
so much, it easy. Mr. Brando. Take it easy, Mr. Henry, okay?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'm not going to tie up Henry. I'm not going to bore you guys with a bunch of superficial conversation. I only want to get the facts. I don't want to waste anybody's time. That's why I only do these things for at least an hour and I'm done. And I want you guys to be done because you give up 3 hours of your week, and that's a lot. Daisy's running amok.
She's running amok.
America's going to export marijuana soon. Nelson, why? When you have places like Mexico, Indonesia, Vietnam, marijuana may be the next, maybe a currency of the world. It grows plentifully. It's one of those things that can grow in basically any environment. There's sun, enough water, and enough open area. So it very well could be. I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. Yeah, you're gonna make your credit union. And think about it. If you give your bank a $25,000 dinar, they've got to go get $25,000 from that central bank. You see what I'm saying? If it's $1. So yeah, when you give your money to the bank, that's why when people say, oh, well, make sure the bank people like you. They're gonna love you. They're gonna love you more than your wife or husband loves you. Because you're going to make them a large commission. That's called a spread.
I'm going to love them. Hell.
Huh. Cryptocurrency is the future. it is inflation proof and protocol cannot be counterfeited. So why would they not choose a digital asset? Make this sense to anybody yet? Josh, well, actually they did. They came out with an e-dinar. The problem with the cryptocurrency world is it's a subservient of the real financial world. I mean, it's a subjugate, meaning that not enough people put money behind it. I mean, real money, like the American commerce behind it, our whole GDP behind it to make crypto go. They don't believe in it. And the reason why they don't believe in it, it's kind of like marijuana or cancer drugs or something like that, because they haven't figured out a way to make enough money off of it.
I think the problem is that they don't see something tangible.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They can't make money right now off of it.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. Like marijuana, you can hold it. You can see it, right? Can you see a Bitcoin?
Yeah, you can see it in your wallet.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but I understand what you're saying.
But I think that's one of the reasons why it gets a bad rap.
I can't argue with that. I mean, tangibles are everything.
Right. And you got a lot of old school people that want something tangible. Even when you buy a stock, you still know that it's backed by a company. Bitcoin is all, I guess, all faith.
Okay, but can I make you laugh about something? Do you know, like, most of the United States wealth is held by people that are older? It's the baby boomer age, and those people are the most progressive to diapers of anybody else, of anybody in our society. So as those people start to drop off, their wealth starts to transfer to younger people, those people that do believe in Bitcoin. I agree with you, but I think the short-sightedness of some people is going to be the forward thinking of others.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a crypto head, so I love cryptos, but I know from having conversations with other people, number one, there's a lot of people that don't believe in technology, period. You got people that, oh, I'm not paying a bill over the internet. I'm not putting my information into a computer.
Sure.
They won't even set up their bank accounts online.
Sure.
So, you know, you have those type of individuals that don't have faith in cryptos, that are not going to invest in cryptos. But the crazy thing is they have faith in the dollar.
The dollar has nothing backing it. It's zero value.
When I got involved in cryptos, when I started having the conversation that we're not backed by gold, people were shocked. Oh, we have gold.
No, we have gold, but people have argued that Fort Knox is empty, but we know how much gold they've bought in the last few years because it's published.
But it's not enough.
Oh, God, no. It's not enough to substantiate the value of a dollar.
Exactly.
Now, here's the problem with that. If you talk about a system crash and you want to go to the gold standard, if you don't have enough money to substantiate your own currency, how to substantiate the value of every other currency in the world? Unless you go to a one world currency, and now you're talking about a total socialist global state, not just the United States state, a globalist state. I'm going to lose viewers for this, but there's not enough physical gold, okay, to substantiate a dollar for everybody in the United States, let alone your salary in this country or abroad, because you make more money in this country on even with the entitlements than any other person does in the world. There's not gold to substantiate that. So when people tell me there's gold and gold and gold, unless you're going to throw in some palladium and some uranium and some plutonium and some more assets, I just disagree with that standard. Now, keep in mind the government has been paid, so there should be more than enough money in the treasury. I don't believe the government's been paid. I really don't, because if they weren't, then to be honest with you, America would have nothing to do with Iraq. Why would they? Even as an emerging market, you'd have private sector in there, but you'd have no military presence. So I'm just throwing that out there. Now, NW, you know I love you. We talk this business, so you know where I'm coming from.
I'm reading Metroid's comment. What's up, Metroid? And I'm trying to see if he's telling a joke or not. I think he's joking. Mr. Brando question: why is that a senior citizen will be at a bank and say, "Where's that RV?" and tell the bank teller, "Don't lie to me." The banker be like, "It's coming," but when I ask, they don't know.
Metroid, I'm gonna talk to you on Instagram. Stop talking to me like that online.
Like what?
I obviously am way behind you. Who signed an NDA? I didn't sign an NDA, or I couldn't talk to you guys on the intranet. Has the government paid for the dinar? No, there's no proof of it. I can tell you they haven't been. Has the U.S. government been buying dinar? Yes. And my friend and I will tell you all about it on April 23rd.
No one's deleting any comments. Dinar millionaire.
Y'all, tonight is a really good story about how you can understand where your investment is and why you're going to make money. Even if these large institutions were going to buy it for somehow to substantiate their own stock market, if you invest in some groups or some clubs like George's kind of introduced, you're going to make a ton of money. You see what I'm saying? But understand that there's a lot more money to make in the dinar world than just dinar. Dinar will be a facet of it, but it may not be the only facet of it. So keep your eyes, your ears, your mouth open to anything that come your way. Remember, a closed vessel won't get a blessing.
Yeah, Dinar Millionaire. Google is messing with you because the comments aren't being deleted. Now, I know after a while they disappear, but nobody's deleting anything, sweetie.
Peter is going bonkers tonight again. Yeah, Peter's always going bonkers.
Yeah, he's trying to get Dottie to
Leave
call.
Dottie alone.
Peter,
Dottie, call us. Dottie, call us.
No, let Peter call in. Peter, you call in. Stop trying to get Dottie to call in. Leave that girl alone.
Metroid, no Peter, not Bruce Lee. Oh, you guys play nice on Google. I know it did. You guys are in a club. You guys ain't listening to the damn news.
No, they're over there having fun.
Yes, Brando, there's a way through nanotech, filter, salter. It works. Yeah, RD per sod. I believe that.
Wait.
But the world has to develop it on a global scale to make it usable on just not only a continent aspect, but on a state like the United States or Canada or Mexico. There's just not enough drinkable water out there.
Dinar Millionaire says, is the RV real or have I been a fool like everyone says when they mock me for and laugh at me for buying it?
No, I don't think you're going to. Okay, will you be a millionaire? I don't know. Will you make money off the dinar? Yeah, you'll make money. No. Will you make everything you want to make? I can't say that.
Here's my thing. Who's the fool that buys a lottery ticket and doesn't win? I mean, it's no different.
Excellent point.
You can't. I mean, we all have our things that we believe in. So,
I mean, I agree with you. I mean,
there are people that spend $100 a week on the lottery.
Yep.
$100.
Yep. And ain't never won nothing.
Right, that part.
At least you hold something tangible that even if it was the worst case scenario, $3 for 25, you hold 100 million. What'd you make?
When I talk to my friends and they're like, I don't know about this. Oh, go ahead.
What do they say?
I tell them to buy what they can afford to lose.
Hello?
Oh my, I think they got their TV on.
Hey, you got your TV too loud.
I'm hearing myself shout.
Hello?
Hey, you guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, the TV is way loud.
Way loud, bro. Or lady.
Bro.
Sweet lady.
Sweet
This is Linda.
Hey, Linda.
Listen, Linda.
I enjoy you guys' show. I'm just ready to go to the bank, man. Aren't you guys ready?
Here, I'm going to let you talk to Miss BB then.
I'm always ready. I stay ready. I'm ready to call in to work. You want me to go right now? I'll go. I stay ready. Uh-oh. Linda gone? Linda, did you go to the bank? Let's go.
No, I just wanted to call and tell you guys I enjoyed your show immensely.
Aw, thanks, Miss Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
Miss Linda, thank you. You have a good evening, okay?
Listen, Linda. I love it.
Bye now.
Bye, Miss Linda.
I love that little boy that says, listen, Linda. No, listen, Linda.
Oh, Lord. I listen to Mr. Brando.
Peter, let's see what Peter says. Metroid, no one except a few locals made money on that so-called Kuwaiti RV. Stop spreading BS.
You guys play nice. A lot of people made money off our Kuwaiti dinar, I believe.
I know. I wish I would have made some. Daisy says she wish she made some too.
Daisy made kibbles, less the bits.
She wants some wagyu. Dinar Millionaire, buy what you can afford
to lose, to hold on to, hodl. Yeah. Don't expect a get-rich-quick scheme. There's no such thing. Even if we're going to play stocks, bonds, securities, we got to invest a little bit of time to see it through. The reason why I ask for you guys to be right here with me is to invest in a commitment. That commitment means that you're going to see it through not just now. We introduce some different ways to make some money, to take part and be a part of something that's going to be much greater. Now, if you're in it for a month or 2 months or 3 months, until you tell you differently, don't. You know what I mean? I'll tell you guys what I know on the 23rd. If I tell you guys, look, I'm still going to do Iraqi Dinar videos. You can watch if you want to, but it's this, blah, blah. Then I'll do it by myself because I know it's beauty going to check out.
What you mean? I'm going to check out when I go cash in?
No. If I come back on the 23rd, it's for this, and it's not something good.
Catch me outside.
What I'm saying, you guys, is this. It's an investment. Understand it. The reason why I'm here is to make clean sense of something that seems that there's not a clean sense about. To not lie to you, to not tell you about some secret intel that I'm selling, or to tell you there's some dragon family out there or some bull crap. I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'll tell you how to make money off that truth when I know it. And if it's just a simple exchange, then so be it. You'll go to the bank and exchange. And that's what I'm betting on. Can someone please explain what everyone is talking about? On Google, there is a glitch that says that you can exchange dinar for 0.0015. You can blame it on, is today the 15th?
No, the 15th is Friday.
Okay, the UN operational rates aren't in yet, so don't freak out about it.
Chill. Take a chill.
Oh, KDP, I'll do a mukbang tomorrow on our channel. And I'm going to do a rant on my channel. I'll probably do the mukbang at noonish on Mr. and Mrs. J. Brando. I know y'all don't get excited for that. It's not on the CBI.
Someone said
100% last month, says Nelson. Show me the article, show me the proof, and I'll believe it.
What's up, babe?
You guys, well, we can end a little early.
Ooh.
I know it showed a value. Question, why is it that this... Oh, okay, we got it.
Somebody said Peter and our baby. I went and reinstated.
I don't know about the dinar babies, but if you guys have babies, have it on your own dinar.
We're a dinar couple.
Oh, God.
Peter says he's up for that. Peter, you're a hot mess.
Nelson said there is enough gold to back 100% of the cost will just be higher, like 40K an ounce. Okay, well, Nelson, the problem with that is that what's it per ounce right now? Maybe 1,200, maybe 1,250, 1,300 tops. I'll give you 1,400. 1,400 to 40K per ounce is like me saying that I'm going to turn this jar into liquid gold or liquid something that's going to be worth $40,000 per ounce. I don't think whale blubber is worth 40. I mean, there's a whale thing out there that's worth 40. I don't think anything's worth 40. Maybe plutonium. I hate to say that, but it's just not. But I believe that dinar can revalue on the premise of a fiat currency backed by gold and backed by oil, and that enough people that are going to put a push behind it will see revaluation. I believe that through my soul. I believe that. I've argued that with my friend. About the baller. Thanks, Joe. Maria, lots happening. It's a girl. Name her Denari. Mr. Brando, which previous show did you talk about the IXX when you had your guest on, which you introduced? Stu, that was George.
And that was, I think, 2 shows ago, right?
Yeah.
I believe it was the Friday show. Wait, what's today's Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday. It was the
I think it was
Friday show.
The Friday show.
You guys look at the Venezuelan Bolivar also like the dinar. They're sanctioned. There's a lot of problems. So buy it, but hodl it. But yeah.
We need somebody to really research into that.
Yeah, I need someone to be a Venezuelan, like.
You know who I need to talk to?
Who?
In John's outhouse.
Who?
We used to have a conversation about Venezuela. So I want to go back in there and get some answers. Yeah.
Why wouldn't Iraq go digital? There's no. Listen, Josh, you could be like the CBI governor. I don't know.
They are digital. There was a.
They have a digital coin, but
yeah,
it's worthless. I mean,
I think it's called the e-dinar.
Yeah, it's called e-dinar. It's worthless.
Look at my
corruption. Yeah, there's a lot of corruption in Iraq.
Because me and Kevin were talking about it one day. That's what I remember.
23rd of April. Boom.
The 27th is my birthday. Boom.
Bought mama some new shoes. Hit the like, comment, and subscribe. At 5,000 subs, we're giving away 50K in dinar.
Oh my!
What am I doing Thursday's rant on? I think I'm going to do it on the ISX and my whole theory of how the dinar could be the derivative for the ISX. That's what I think it's most of it's going to be about. I'm going to rant about the ISX and how it's going to make you a gazillionaire. I think I am.
I would like to talk to George in depth. I have questions.
Well, you guys can always do that.
I mean, I think, no, like an interview session, recorded, posted, that kind of thing. Because I think there's questions that people have that, you know.
Yeah, you might want to interview them.
Yeah. Just a thought.
Okay, y'all, we got 4 minutes.
Someone said, Daisy had the nerve to growl at me.
Why?
Because she wants you out. She does. She wants you out there.
God bless Daisy.
Yes.
Okay, guys, let's recap. So one thing we're looking at is the investment law. That's heavy in the Chevy for us. The investment law is a big deal. The placeholder seated government, whether it's done or not done, I want to see it announced. I want to see some movement on acceptance of Article 8. I want to see someone confirm the lower denominations. Either Tony or Henry call me back later on in the week. We're going to come up with some type of video of what the exchange on the cards is. The $50,000 IQD somehow is in circulation from our last caller. I see proof of that. We have a lot going on. So, Marcus says, yeah, interview George. Yeah, she'll do that on my channel. I don't know. Since that's where everyone wants to know it at, an interview, can you interview George? She'll figure it out. She'll post it sometime on Mr. Brando at Mr. Brando YouTube or Mr. Brando fan page or April BB or Bash and Fabby.
I'll post it on this channel. If there's some questions I have that I would like to know, I think that you guys will benefit from as well. So that's why I said I would like to interview him.
All right, y'all. So I got a rant tomorrow about why I think the ISX is going to be a huge moneymaker for a lot of you, and also talk about some domestic stuff that I think could be a huge money for you that you can do now. I'm going to call it minimal investments for maximum outputs. I think everybody can benefit from making some extra money on the side. You guys have a good night. I hope to talk to Henry between now and Friday. If not, you guys know the news. If I hear something different, I will be